And action.
Oh, are we live?
We're live, brother.
For the movie podcast.
For the very first time.
For like the 180th time?
Yeah. Holy shit, it's a movie talk edition of Distorted Minds coming at ya in your ear holes from out of our a-holes. Dayman. Fighter of the night man. Champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Dayman.
Fighter of the night man.
Champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Dayman. I don't know why we did that, but that was fun.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah,
having
man.
fun. All right. Let's get serious.
Super serious?
Super serial right now.
Super serial?
Nobody believes me, but I'm super serial.
Yeah, we're about to talk movies on this podcast. Drew came.
Oh, the movies.
We kind of mentioned it on the last podcast, but I slept through the day yesterday.
He slept through the podcast.
Drew came over to do a podcast, and I was me sleeping away.
And I was like, that's okay, Cat. I'll just catch you tomorrow.
My bad. I felt so bad.
I didn't even care. I was just like, it's cool. I was like, I'm just going to keep enjoying my day off.
All right, what say we do a snapshot, and then we'll fucking talk some movies. You know what I mean? I'm going to grab the clapper. Damn, I broke it.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
I fucking broke that
Is this
shit.
your card?
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
And picture. Big old chunk missing. Holy moly, guacamole. Holy moly, said the
shit.
roly-poly. No one told me the world's this big.
I'm going to drink this beer.
Drink it, brother. That's what it's there for.
Yes.
All right, brother, let's get down to it.
All right, let's get down to it.
You watched a million movies.
I watched a lot of fucking movies on my days off this last few weeks because I was so tired. It was really last like Sunday and Monday. I was so fucking tired from working like basically 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
All I did was lay on my couch, eat pizza, and watch movies. It was awesome.
Sounds like paradise.
But the first one I want to bring up before we get into the movies was I fucking watched Liar Liar, dude, and I forgot how fucking funny that movie is. It's so funny.
I watched that on the plane. I brought it up on the podcast like weeks and weeks ago, months or whatever ago. From the last vacation I did, I watched it on the plane, and I was like, God damn, that movie fucking rules, dude. It's hilarious.
It's one of his funniest movies, man. He's so fucking good in that
As far
movie.
as Jim Carrey movies go, that one I feel is a little underrated.
I agree with you, man. Because everybody always brings up Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
And
Dumb and Dumber.
but
The Mask.
even Bruce
Truman
Almighty.
Show.
I feel like like all that shit.
Yes, man.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Dude, we need to do that one sometime.
You know what? Okay. I was like, okay, yeah, all right. I can get down for that.
I see your gears turning.
Gears turned a little bit, yeah. But no, I enjoyed that movie so much, dude.
Fuck yeah, it's hilarious.
That
I'd have got him 10.
He's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm kicking my own ass. Do you mind?"
Or how about when he's what does he say with the fucking hot chick in the elevator? Mommy.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm sure they do. It's because you have huge, nice jugs." It's like,
Oh yeah, because she was like, everybody's so nice, like I'm sure they are. It's probably because you're fucking, you got such nice jugs.
yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, the best is when his boss basically fucking makes him fuck her, and then she's like, "It was great for me. How was it for you?" "I've had better."
I've had better. I've had better. He's brushing his teeth. I've had better. That's when it first happens.
"I need a continuance, Judge." "Do you have a good reason?"
Badly need a continuance.
"I can't lie."
I commend that, Mr. Reed.
But without a good reason. It's so fucking good. I love his interaction with the judge. He says something along the lines of, he's like, "All right, I'm going to allow this just to see," basically, he's like, "I'm going to allow this just to see where this train wreck goes."
My teacher says beauty's on the inside. Well, that's just something ugly people say. Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking great movie.
Yeah, it was, I was so happy I revisited it. I was like, yeah, this is what I need. I needed this movie and a shit ton of pizza. Perfect.
Yeah, sounds great. Let me throw one out there. The Machinist. Seen it?
With Christian Bale. That's a messed up movie, man.
I know. It was my first time watching it, and I thought it was good for a one-time watch. I probably won't go back.
I've only seen it one time, and I kind of feel the same way. Yeah, it's a rough movie, especially the ending when you kind of realize why he's the way he is.
Yeah,
you're just like, wow, this is a really dark, fucked up. It just makes me feel bad watching this movie. Yeah. It's kind of like I would suggest people watch Requiem for a Dream one time, but after watching it that one time, that's all you need. You don't need to go back and watch that movie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's just gonna make you feel bad
a while back.
Especially at the end.
Yeah.
I remember some things about that movie, but
I'm getting chased by a Frigidator.
Anyways, what else you got?
The other one I wanted. I'll list some of the other ones off because some of the other ones I watched, I've already kind of talked about watching on a previous podcast.
Sure.
The one I want to talk about though is actually Straight Outta Compton. So I watched that. It's a movie about NWA.
I watched that on the plane too. That's another one I watched.
It's a good ass movie.
It's decent.
The thing I don't like about it though is it's very much so you can tell that Dr. Dre and Ice Cube kind of tweaked it to make themselves look good, because it completely leaves out all the fucking domestic abuse charges for fucking Dr. Dre, and they just make
I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know nothing about that.
They literally that was a big thing. He got,
but I know they do that to movies anyways. They always
dramatize it.
Yeah.
Well, also the Jewish guy that what's his name? Really good actor, Paul Giamatti plays.
Love him.
The Jewish
Sideways.
Yeah.
I might choose that.
Hey, that's a good movie, man. But Paul Giamatti in that movie, in real life, he actually did really right by all those guys. There wasn't any fucked up play like in the movie. And that's kind of the other thing about the movie is they kind of do Eazy-E really dirty in that movie.
He gets
because
AIDS.
That was true in real life.
Yeah,
he fucked all these girls and didn't use a condom, and so he got HIV. But what was false about the movie, big time false, that's kind of fucked up, is that Eazy-E died a multi-millionaire. And the other thing is he wasn't fucking scared of Suge Knight. The scene where he gets beat up never happened. In fact, him and Suge Knight did have beef, but Suge Knight was actually scared of him because he had so many connections from being a drug dealer for so long. He was actually gonna have Suge Knight murdered, and that's the only part of that story that's true, where he's talking to Jerry and he's like, I'm gonna have to kill this motherfucker. Like, that part of the story was true. Like, Jerry did have to talk him out of killing Suge Knight, because Suge Knight was trying to get Dr. Dre out of that contract and was like threatening Eazy-E, but Eazy-E was just gonna be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna smoke this motherfucker and not even deal with him, because in real life, like, he was like the smartest fucking drug dealer / like hood rat kind of guy like you would have ever fucking met. Like, he was, for being like from the streets, it made him super business savvy. So like Dr. Dre's album The Chronic, that first like big album, solo album
rules.
It's a really good album, but like what the movie doesn't talk about is Eazy-E literally made $1 million off that album, like just because Dr. Dre was, you know, still under contract with him. Like, that's like they all signed those contracts except for Ice Cube. Ice Cube's the only one that didn't sign the contract because he really just wanted to go out on his own and do his own thing. Like, that part was true. But
you want an Ice Cube in your iced tea?
But yeah, they just kind of did him dirty.
Are you a big hip hop guy, or
I actually I fuck
today
with.
Today was a good day.
I
didn't have to use my AK.
Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. Mama cooked the breakfast, feeling kind of odd. No smog out. Got my brug out. Finally got a call from a girl I want to dig out. It's a good fucking song, man. Yeah. No, I really do like old school hip hop. Like,
jamming.
I love fucking Wu-Tang. I like NWA, old Ice Cube. Yeah, ain't nothing to fuck with, man. I would say, like, when it comes to like older hip hop, I am kind of a hip hop head. I got I don't know as much as
hip hop.
Hip hop and it don't stop to rock.
Remember the rapping granny? And
yeah, fucking Wedding Singer.
Yeah,
so, dude, that's a good movie too, man.
Love it.
Love it or leave it. What did you watch this time around,
John
man?
Lovitz. I got one more other movie that, you know, it's called The Messenger. Ever heard of it? I've never heard of it, but
Who's in it? Because it sounds familiar.
I saw a clip on TikTok about, and just the clip on TikTok made me want to watch the movie, but it's Woody Harrelson and fucking old boy, what's that dude? Hey, shit, he's in a lot of things. Give it a goog. Shit in my mouth. Shit. Oh, is Keith doing the Google bitch? The Messenger 2029 cast. All right, I got it. Ben Foster. You know who Ben Foster is?
The name sounds familiar. I bet if I saw his face, I'd know who he is.
He's in a lot of shit. You know him. This guy.
Oh yeah.
What's he in? He's in some shit. Let me look it up. Oh, he's in 310 to Yuma. Hell, Alpha Dog. Yeah.
He looks like a poor man Ryan Gosling, yeah.
He does look like a fucking tweaker. But yeah, he's good in it. Anyways, this movie is about... What did I write down? Yeah. It's a little bit of a tearjerker. It's like... They're like... They're in the military, and their job is to go around and tell families that their loved ones have died in the war or whatever.
Okay, I have heard of this movie. I've never seen it before.
It's decent. It's a decent watch, and I did get teary-eyed at some of the parts because just them breaking the news to people is just it's heartbreaking, man, and I feel it. It's not like I wouldn't put it in my top tier list of movies, but it was a decent watch.
Enjoyable, yeah.
I would revisit it at some point. But that's about it for me. You got anything else?
I'm gonna list them off.
Go ahead.
I don't want to waste too much time.
Yeah, rapid fire.
So a lot of them are comedies. So I'll go through the comedies first.
Comedies.
So I watched A League of Their Own. Fucking great movie. It's a baseball movie. It's got Tom Hanks, Gina Davis,
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell. Madonna's in it. John Lovitz makes a brief appearance. It's got a lot of famous
I don't think
people.
I ever sat down and watched it. I know of the movie and I've seen it in peripheral.
It's a pretty funny movie, man. It's a good movie. I watched Benchwarmers.
Oh yeah,
I love Benchwarmers. Another movie with John Lovitz.
Yeah.
I think it's
David Spade, right?
David Spade. It's got the kid from Napoleon in it.
Yeah.
Rob Snyder's.
John Heder.
Yeah, John Heder. I think it's Rob Snyder's best movie, dude.
What do you think about Napoleon Dynamite?
I actually enjoy it. I think it's funny.
Movie,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's very quirky and it's in its own way.
I think it
pretty
deserves its place as a cult classic.
Yeah, I agree.
I watched The Breakfast Club.
I love that movie.
I love it too, but I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't watched it in forever.
I liked it more when I was younger. As I've gotten older, it's kind of some of the shit in there.
Who's the director? Is that
John Hughes?
John Hughes.
Yep, it's John Hughes.
That's what I thought. I was about to say that, but
some of the dialogue and shit they said is a little hokey. You know what I mean? It very much seems.
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson is great in that movie.
Emilio Estevez.
Michael Scott Hall.
Mighty Ducks, I swear to God.
Yep.
I was like, Emilio!
But I was upon revisiting it seemed a bit dated, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, sure.
It seemed very dated. Another comedy, this one I fucking love, Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck's a great movie.
That's probably one of my favorite John Candies, honestly.
And then the last comedy I watched was Ted. I like Ted. There's some lines that just genuinely make me fucking crack the fuck up in that movie.
I don't think I ever.
The best lines he has are when he's doing like his interview, talking to his boss. He's just like, his boss is like droning on, and he's like, so what do you got? He's like, I'll tell you what I got. Your wife's pussy smell in my mouth. He's like, what? Nobody's ever talked to me like that in an interview before. He's like, yeah, that's probably because their mouths are always full of your wife's box. He's like,
that's a pretty good Seth MacFarlane impression.
He's like, no. He's like, that took guts. You're hired. Shit.
You kind of sound like it.
Yeah. Later on, he gets caught fucking, like the teddy bear gets caught fucking his girlfriend at the store with a cucumber, and he's just like, what the hell is going on back there? Well, you see, I fucked her with a parsnip, and then I sold that parsnip to a family with 4 small children. That took innovation. I'm giving you a promotion. There's something really fucking wrong with you, isn't there?
You fucking sound like him, dude.
I'm pretty good at doing a lot of different impressions. That's one of them I'm pretty good at.
Real quick, where did you watch Breakfast Club? Because I might.
It's on Netflix, man.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. A lot of these movies I watched are on Netflix. Uncle Buck is on Netflix. Benchwarmers is. Breakfast Club and League of Their Own. They're all on Netflix. So is Ted. Yeah, so a lot of these movies I watched are straight on. So I also watched The Terminator. Fucking classic movie. This is a good one, man. That shootout in the police station is, I think, one of the cooler scenes in cinema. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Again, I already talked about that movie, so I'm not going to get into it. I do love that movie, though, so that was a good watch for me. This is a movie I know I wouldn't even make you watch it. It's based off a manga translated into like a live action movie. It's called Battle Angel Alita. I think it's like it's a good movie, right? Like, it's a fucking sick movie. I think
anime.
It's not an anime. It's actually a live action movie, but it's created from basically like an anime.
Okay.
But it's like if you take like the pages of like the manga, the Japanese like comic book, and you like put it next to the movie, it's like a lot of the scenes are shot for shot. It was really cool. It's one of the. Yeah, it was one of honestly, it was like if you would make a comic book movie straight from a comic, it was like just like that. And it's like, it was, as a fan, where I have like all those like comics of Battle Angel.
Yeah,
it was really cool for me. And then the last movie that I watched again that I've talked about this movie a lot. I really like it. John Wick 1. I won't get into it. I know you. Yeah, I know you haven't. I won't talk about it again. The only thing I'll say is there's a scene, the first scene where he's like full on like murdering people. He goes into like this nightclub to try and get to this kid he's trying to kill, and like that whole sequence is like the fucking coolest action sequence you could ever see in any movie. Like it really every time I'm just like, damn. Like, it never gets old. Yeah, it's a dope movie. He kills fucking like 87 people in that movie. Like, there's a
kill count?
A YouTube video that has a kill count for it. He kills like 87 people, and I think his kill count from like all 4 movies is like over 600 people. It's like a fucking crazy amount of people he kills in those movies.
Keanu's coming to town. Did you know that? He's coming to the Vogue.
Really?
Yeah, his band, Dogs something.
I would go just to, like, if I could, like buy, like, an expensive ticket just to meet him and be like, dude, you're awesome. Like, I enjoy your movies, and, like, you seem like you're a good dude, and I just wanted to say that to your face.
I think he's a bit overrated. I'll say that. I don't
necessarily, I don't think he's a good actor. But I do enjoy some of the things that he's been in. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, those people that seem like such good dudes.
He does seem like a real upstanding gent. Did that sound right?
Yeah. Right? I mean, by no means I think he's like a great actor like Tom Hardy, Denzel, like, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, there's a, you know, I think there's a lot of better actors, but as far as like TDL. Human beings, I just like, you know, I can forgive him for making some bad movies and being like, yeah, you know what, that wasn't a good movie.
Did you watch the latest Bill and Ted?
It was enjoyable. I actually enjoyed it.
I didn't care for it. But I was never big on those movies.
See,
anyways.
I was like, I grew up on those first 2 movies. I was like, I watched them all the time, especially the second one. I've seen the second Bill and Ted movie more times than I care to admit.
I think we got to get into a movie, though.
Yeah. Let's get into Tombstone, dude.
We've been chit-chatting for a minute about it.
Hey, I had a lot to say about movies this time, and I'm going to have a lot to say about these movies. Which is cool.
I'm glad you watched so many movies.
Yeah, man. We switched places this time.
I know. I'm usually the movie guy. But, yeah, you want to go Tombstone first?
Yeah, because I'm going to have a lot to say about the other one, but... Tombstone, I can definitely say a lot about too.
Tombstone, 1993 Western drama. Directors George P. Cosmatos.
What else has that guy made?
And Kevin Jarre. I don't know, man.
So, I mean, I'm really familiar with Tombstone. I've seen this movie.
Oh, he did Rambo.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Now that you say that.
Leviathan. I don't know these movies really.
They're
all old-looking movies.
Probably know some.
Cobra.
Oh, I know that movie. Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yep, I know. Yep. Okay. So yeah, in the grand scheme, when you pair this with his other movies, it totally makes sense. Although all those movies are like big shootout movies. Which, frankly, dude, Tombstone it's one of the best for that.
It fucking rules, right?
If you're looking for like a Western, like... It's I feel like, especially for a movie in the 90s, because, you know, you go back and watch some 90s movies and they are not paced well. They feel like really slow.
Yeah.
Like you feel that in like some 70s,
I know
80s,
exactly
and 90s
what
movies.
you mean. Yeah.
This is not one of those movies, though. This movie is paced very well. I mean, this movie literally starts off with a fucking murder at a wedding. It's wild. Like, the beginning of this movie is wild. And then they, just for fun, shits and giggles, they shoot a priest in the face. Like, this is a wild movie, man.
I know, dude. Let's see what we got. We got a 72% on the Rotten Tomato meter.
What's the audience score?
You want to know the audience score? I'll tell you the audience score. 94.
That seems more right. Like, this movie, this is a very solid movie.
I know, 72 is a little surprising.
And I'm going to say this, too. As far as, like, performances go, like, it's
Val Kilmer.
I was going to say Val Kilmer, but also Kurt Russell, man.
He is such a badass. Yeah.
Kurt Russell and
Kilmer too.
Val Kilmer.
I mean,
these are like some of their best performances they've ever done in any movie.
Yeah.
Like
I love Kurt Russell too.
Kurt Russell's
he's such a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but he's always really good at playing like tough guy characters. But this one is, I think, one of his most convincing. But yeah, as you said, I was going to get into Val Kilmer a little later, but this has
Tell
to be.
him I'm coming and I'm bringing hell with me. What is it?
Yeah, that's actually hot, spot on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got like Sam Elliott in there and Bill Paxton,
Yeah.
bro. I love Bill
If
Paxton.
I see a red handkerchief, I see a dead man. Like, yeah, it's fucking good, man.
Let me throw out a couple of taglines for you. I'm your huckleberry. That's one of them.
That's actually not even my favorite Val Kilmer line in this movie.
I know he's got so much better lines.
I'll let you throw out your taglines out.
There's
but
a couple more. Justice is coming. That's another one. And then the last one is every town has a story. Tombstone has a legend.
I think that's probably the most
That's
accurate
pretty good.
one. Yeah.
That's very good.
But no, my favorite Doc Holliday quote in this movie is when he's playing the piano, and he's in Sideways though. He's a really young guy in this movie, but it's the
Thomas Hayden Church.
Yep. He comes up to Val
love that
Kilmer.
guy.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church. He's like, "Is that Frederick Stallworth? Is that Fred Stallworth?" And he's like, "No, this is Nocturne." He's like, "What?" He's like, Frederick fucking Chopin.
Yeah.
That's my favorite line in the whole movie. It's so well delivered.
You know who else you see in that gang? Really young, Michael Rooker.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in. He was actually in Walking Dead, right? And
Yup.
he was in. He's in what? He's in some stuff. I don't know.
He's in like all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies too.
Oh yeah. I don't watch those though.
Well, yeah, I know you don't like him, but he's
kind of
he's a pretty well known actor. It's funny you said Michael Rooker.
He's kind of associated with horror, isn't he? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mostly just because of The Walking Dead. He's just kind of one of those cult actors, man. He's in a lot of movies people really like.
Right.
He's in a lot of shit that people really like. He's a good actor, though. I like him. Yeah,
And towards the end of the movie, he ends up like being on Kurt Russell's side and shit.
Well, see, what the Cowboys do is really fucked up. I mean, it's one thing to get revenge, but to go after people's families, especially when the men aren't around,
Right.
it's so fucking cowardly. Like, you're gonna pull up guns on unarmed women. Like,
Yeah.
I would be the same way if I was in a gang and we were beefing, but then all of a sudden they're killing like kids and fucking people's wives. I was like, be a fucking man and like deal with the men. Like, I mean, if we want to beat these people down in the street, we want to fucking shoot them. We want revenge on these guys. I get that, but don't be fucking killing women and children, man. Like, that's where I draw the line. So I totally get the flip. He's like, no, I can't stand by this. He's like, you could kind of tell with Michael Rooker early in the movie when Ringo shoots the priest, he gets this look on his face, and it kind of sets the movie up later where you're like, yeah, this guy's probably gonna turn like at some point.
It's a little
like,
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man. Like, I went the fucking cheap route, and I tried to watch this on Pluto.
Man,
I know, and I fucking regret it, dude.
Dude, I just bought it off of Amazon for $7.
Let me tell you, bro.
I was like, I'll just pay the $7.
Let me tell you, man, because I put it on. Sure, I'll watch ads, whatever. But then, the ads are all the same, dude. Same ads every time. Same 3-4 different. Yeah. But that shit would just cut off. I was like an hour into the movie. That shit cut it off.
I'd be pissed, man.
And then I try to go back into it, and you gotta watch all the ads up until that point until you fucking get to the point you were at. I
would have been really mad. Yeah.
It was so frustrating. And then it cut off again after that, dude. I regret. And we've had this shit before. I mean, when Mike was in your spot doing the podcast with me, he had a whole rant about fucking Pluto, bro. I'll never fucking watch a movie on Pluto again.
That's why I just pay the $4 on Amazon. I don't give a fuck. It's like it's $4. I don't give a shit.
Dude. I really should have, and I regret not doing that. But yeah, fuck Pluto.
Right, and
I'll still fuck with it though.
Right, and it's cold.
I'll fuck with the live TV. Yeah. But it's retarded. What else we got?
I mean, really, honestly, really, just Val Kilmer steals every fucking scene. He's
there's a whole
movie.
there's a whole fucking cast of people, man, that everybody you love.
It's a super solid cast. Like, it's so good. But, oh man, Val Kilmer every time.
He is such a badass, dude.
He's like, what do you think? Should I hate him?
There is no one cooler than fucking Doc Holliday.
Oh, an educated
as
man.
Depicted in this movie.
That decides it, darling. I definitely hate him.
Man, I know, and he's just fucking dripping sweat the whole time. Yeah.
He's like, I'm fit as fiddle.
He's got TB, tuberculosis, just like Arthur Morgan.
Yep.
You said you had a plan, Dutch. Which this movie did kind of make me want to play some fucking Red Dead.
I can definitely see that, man.
Even though I have been playing it, but yeah. And that's another thing too about this movie. Like, I kind of romanticize living in those days. You know, it's.
But then this movie makes you realize how shitty that time actually was. Yeah.
In reality, it would suck, but you kind of like romanticize. You were like a lot of people.
The free Wild West, we can go out there, do whatever we want, or we can get all these diseases, or get killed by. See,
tuberculosis.
I'm gonna sidetrack just for a second on another movie where so it's movies like this where you kind of fantasize about the Old West being a fucking badass gunslinger,
right?
But there's a scene in a movie called A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Seen it.
Where I think he illustrates perfectly how shitty the West is. And I'm not talking about the movie. I mean, I know people that love this movie, they hate it. But I'm just specifically talking about a speech where he literally lists like fucking 30 or 40 just awful shitty ways to die in the West. Like, he just rapid fires them off. It's just like, damn. Yeah, living in the Old West, like during like the American frontier days, would have fucking sucked.
Yeah, it really would have. But in your mind, you kind of like you picture it as like just I don't know. For me personally, I'm like it seems like it would have been cool.
Well, it's like it's that Easy Rider, outlaw kind of life where there's no rules. You're fucking sleeping under the fucking moon and under a campfire, like that kind of shit. I totally understand that appeal. I mean, I fucking that's the reason why I'm not a career man. I could have been, but I've hated all those jobs.
I know.
I'm a fucking 35-year-old
nowadays
bartender.
People just stare into their phones all day.
Yeah,
we're not. Connected.
I'm the type of guy.
We're disconnected from nature.
I would love to, get aside from the fucking thousands of songs that are in this little box. Like, I could definitely do away with this. I couldn't do away with the music. Everything else on, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But I could just put some chill music on, take some shrooms, like lay out in the middle of nowhere, look at the stars, and have the best time under like a little campfire. Like that sounds like a slice of heaven to me, man. Like, and that's what always appealed to me about the Wild West, is just being able to do shit like that. Like fucking just laying out under the stars. You're not worrying about a job. You're not worrying about societal bullshit.
That's living.
It really is living, man. This, like, going to a 9 to 5 and staring at this little box. That's
fucking
not
soul
life.
sucking.
It's not life, man.
Hey, so are you a fan of westerns? What?
I actually am. Yeah, I really do.
What other westerns do you like?
So
real quick.
I actually grew up on westerns because of my grandmother. Because my grandmother
Unforgiven?
loved. Oh yeah, I love Unforgiven. I fucking love Clint Eastwood, dude.
Yeah.
I love all his old school
Mike
movies.
picked that movie one time, and that was my first time watching it. I liked it. I thought, what's dude's name? The bad guy in that movie.
Oh, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. I thought he was amazing
Dude,
in that movie.
He's a fucking amazing actor.
And then you
dude.
got like Morgan Freeman, Clint Eastwood.
Yup. It's like that movie's cool because it's like the dark side of like being in the West, yeah. But so I grew up on Clint Eastwood and John Wayne movies, man, because my grandma loved their movies. So like True Grit, I've seen a bunch of times. I'd seen a movie called Cowboys.
Are you talking about the old? You're talking about
the old school one.
Because the Coen brothers did one with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon.
That wasn't a bad movie, but
I liked it.
I liked it, but it's not really as good as the original one. But there's another. There's just a bunch of. One I'm specifically thinking of is McLean with Katharine Hepburn and John Wayne. Like, I had seen that movie so many times. My grandmother fucking loved that movie. There's another.
Have you seen the
Good, Bad, and the Ugly?
The Quick and the Dead.
I don't know if I've seen that one. High Noon was another one I watched with my grandma.
Shanghai Noon.
But yeah, man, I watched a lot of old school westerns. I always love like shootouts and shit like that. It's always entertaining.
Let's keep going. Sorry.
I was gonna say just my last piece. My favorite modern western though is Django. I fucking love Django.
I need to revisit that.
Love Django, but okay.
You got Billy Bob Thornton in there, and he's chunkier than he looks. Then you don't know.
I know Billy Bob Thornton. I'm trying to think of who you're talking about.
He was like at the beginning. He was like, you know, the guy that was commanding the poker table or whatever, and then Kurt Russell goes up to him and like kicks him out and fucking.
That was Billy Bob Thornton?
That's Billy Bob Thornton,
dude.
bro.
I couldn't even recognize him.
I know, because he's chunkier. He's got like more fucking meat on his face. Sounds
he
weird,
doesn't look anything like
how
he looks literally like a year after. Because
he's a skinny dude. Like
he must have. Wow, what the fuck? You just blew my mind, dude.
You didn't realize that was Billy Bob?
No, I would have never realized. Because he's in a bunch of movies, I feel like, before that where he's really skinny, too. It's like he literally
pull it up.
It's like he literally got fat for that movie.
Well, this was like early. I mean, what else was he in before that? I don't know.
He was in a movie called Pushing 10 in 1992. He's always been like a kind of a skinny dude.
Right. And but yeah, he was chunky in this one.
All right, we're gonna give it a goog for a second. Sorry, we gotta.
Look.
You're right. It is. Now that I'm looking at it from far away,
that's fucking Billy Bob, bro. That's fucking Billy Bob.
That's crazy, man.
Shit, dude. My fucking phone just crashed on me.
Oh, that sucks.
That's all right. It just had all my notes on it.
Said all my notes. It's not a big deal.
That's all right. We'll figure it out. Figure it out. Give your balls a tug. What else do we want to say about this movie?
I mean, it's a fucking bona fide classic western, man.
Yeah, it's fire.
I
really didn't write down a whole lot of notes, but
I mean, you know, it's a very iconic movie because it's so much in a way where it really the actors that were kind of stars made them absolute stars. It's that movie where, you know, Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, Bill Paxton.
I heard a thing like that's how he got the role of Batman, Val Kilmer.
I would believe that, yeah.
This movie.
It's honestly how he got a lot.
But that was like one of the worst Batmans, right?
It was, but it wasn't as bad as Batman and Robin. That's hands down the worst Batman movie.
Who was that?
George Clooney.
Clooney, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, is that the one with Arnold? Mr. Freeze?
Chill out. I used to see you.
Does he really say that?
Yes, he
You
does.
Fucking lame motherfucker. That's silly. Chill out.
A freeze
You're
is
fired.
coming.
I was thinking of True Lies.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Run!
Mike made me watch True Lies, and when he fires the guy from the rocket from the jet plane, he's like, "You're fired."
You're fired. That dude, that's a great fucking movie though. Like he's
It
like
is.
knocking people over. Sorry.
It's fucking silly as hell, dude.
It's silly, but it's in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Like Bill Paxton is hilarious in that movie.
Exactly.
He's like, how
The car
pathetic.
sales-
I got a little dick.
Yeah, he's the car salesman.
Yeah,
right?
the sleazy fucking car salesman. He sells it so too.
All right, let me see if I got any friggin' notes left.
Yeah. He's like, their husbands aren't bonking them, so I might as well. Just the sleaziest piece of shit.
Oh, I found this like on a TikTok video or something. Apparently, Willem Dafoe was first choice for Doc Holliday. Can you picture that? I can't really picture that.
Not really, and it's mostly just because Val Kilmer just gave essentially the best performance of his career.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to picture anybody else doing that.
That's true.
But to be fair, like up to that
To
point,
be fair,
William Dafoe had been in some fucking monster hit movies and proved like even though he's ugly, this motherfucker can act.
yeah.
Which is weird though.
Florida Project.
Which is weird though, because like in the 80s, like all the movies William Dafoe in was in the 80s where he was like young. He was actually a really handsome dude. He just one of those unfortunate people where he had like a hard transition in like his 40s. And he's like, oh, you are no longer handsome. Like life dealt you some blows, my guy, and like you were dealing with them. Like we love you. You're a great actor, but like your like young man pictures and your old man pictures is like, damn, my guy, what happened to you?
Have you seen The Lighthouse?
Of course I have. I love that movie.
It's pretty great,
It's
right?
fucking, it's grim.
It's
and,
intense.
It's very intense.
There's a debate on I'm Your Huckleberry. Have you heard about this?
People have theories about that shit all the time, man.
It's Huckleberry, for sure, 100%. People think it's like I'm Your Hucklebearer because that's what they call the fucking things on the side of the coffin or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and my roommate tried to tell me, he's saying Hucklebearer, and that was because that was what they would say, basically saying I'm your Undertaker.
Right.
And I was like, no, he's saying I'm your Huckleberry, which is essentially a very old southern way of saying I'm your guy. Like that is like
Exactly. That's
I'm the guy you're looking for, yeah. And I just, when people are like, oh, well, no, it's this, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't even bother to argue anymore. I was like, I don't need to fucking argue about that shit.
Here's a fun fact. Apparently, they filmed some of the scenes at Knott's Berry Farm in California, which I've been to a bunch of times, man.
Nice.
It's a theme park.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have a whole fucking, like, western section of that theme park. But, moving on. You also got Billy Zane in there. From Titanic.
Yo. Yeah, and dude,
He's like
that's a young
the
Billy.
pretty boy actor
Well,
guy.
that was when Billy Zane was young, and he was a very pretty man.
I
like
freaking like Billy Zane.
He had all his hair. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I do too. He's a good actor.
It's good.
He's been in some weird movies, but he's also been in some great movies.
He wasn't in the wrong in Titanic, bro. He was actually
No, Rose and Leonardo DiCaprio's character were the shitheads, and
Yeah,
I was like,
she's
you're
the slut."
literally one going around fucking around on me, and I'm trying to marry you. Like, nah, you can drown, bitch. Fuck you. Like,
yeah, fucking hogging that door. Thomas Hayden shirts. Oh, have you ever seen Bone Tomahawk?
That's a wild movie, dude.
I know.
It has one of the most gruesome scenes I've ever seen in
It's
a movie.
Kurt Russell.
It is a Kurt Russell movie.
Another Western, but
Yep.
there's like these cannibalistic fucking
Native Americans, yeah.
Yeah.
They literally cleave a dude in half from his testicles up. Like,
Yeah.
It's
But
and they show it too.
the thing-
It's like oh, that hurt my dick just watching that. Like,
But it's like the first half of that movie is just like kind of a Western, but then it all of a sudden
it
switches
turns into a fucking horror movie.
dude.
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck am I watching now? No, that's a good movie though. My uncle actually is the one that got me to watch that because he's like, it's gonna be the most gory fucking thing you've ever seen. I was like, have you seen any of Eli Roth's movies? Because this movie doesn't even come close to some of that shit. Especially if you've ever watched The Green Inferno. Holy fuck. I mean, I like that movie. I'm into, like, Eli Roth's movies. But that movie's, like, on a whole nother level. You're like, holy shit, this movie fucked me up.
One last thing I would say about this movie is it has a lot of beautiful scenes, man. Like just majestic. Yeah, just the background, the landscape, fucking just beautifully.
The cinematography is
beautifully
great.
shot.
I'm gonna digress.
Please.
In this movie just for a little bit. I like how his wife Maddie. They basically just like. At the end of the movie, she's like, "Oh, she died of disease, and drug overdose,
Yeah.
like, a short time after Kurt Russell was running around." Basically, how I think about this, like, oh, he's been
Someone
pining.
going on the beer run. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool. It's like basically, Kurt Russell is pining over this actor
Appreciate
woman.
it, Keith.
This whole time, I'll tag one. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But like his character in Wyatt Earp is pining over this actor lady this whole fucking time in the movie.
Yeah.
Like he's been thinking about leaving his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And so to make him not an asshole, they just kill his wife off at the end. It's like oh, she's dead. So him fucking this actress lady is totally okay.
Totally
I was like,
cool.
no, he's kind of a dick for being like, my wife is kind of mentally fucked up and she's like taking opium to like
He was
get over her
already
problems.
fucking-
He was already thinking about
He was
dicking
already
that down.
chubbing about
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, he was already
In
thinking about
previous
dicking her
scenes.
down. And that little ride in the forest and they sit down. I was like, motherfucker, that was an old timey date. Like,
When
you
they-
just cheated on your wife. You can't even tell me
Race
different.
horses and shit. Yeah.
And I was like, she even asked him, like, oh, stay with me. He's like, nah, I'm about that money, son. Like, I was like, I don't think you really love your wife that much. I think you're kind of over her and looking for new pussy. And I was like, as a man, a human being of flesh and blood that likes to fuck, like, I get it. But, when she's presented in the beginning of the movie, I was like, she seemed like kind of an okay broad. And I think, like, your actions are kind of what made her a bitch. You know what I mean?
She was hot too. Well,
Yeah.
Doc Holliday's chick was the hottest one.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
We're rating on a scale from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
She is a 10. Plus
We're
that
ra-
accent, like,
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
oh, fuck y'all,
Oh,
don't
fuck
you know?
yeah. Give me some more of that. Yeah, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, all right.
I love it. Great movie. Rating, I'll give it a fucking solid 7.
That's about where I'm at. I'm 7.5. I think the only thing that makes this movie hard for me to watch sometimes is just I've seen it so many times.
I know.
I can quote
When I picked
almost
it-
every line.
When I picked it, you were like, I just watched that movie.
And I mean, I do like it. Like, I really enjoy this movie.
Right.
And, there's some fucking amazing performances in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, even the guy that plays Curly Bill, I don't know his name, but he's fucking good in this movie, too. Like,
Is that the cowboy?
so the cowboy that wears the red shirt that has the black
main-
mustache. Not
yeah,
Ringo,
yeah.
but the other guy.
Right, yeah. All right. Rewatchability? Totally.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This one's evergreen. Evergreen. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. I think Keith got lost, but
That's okay.
yeah, it's always Sarah. She'd be stopping people up. But yeah, let's move right along.
Oh, to this movie.
BlacKkKlansman.
BlacKkKlansman. Let me say, just right off the bat.
Go ahead.
What a fucking wild movie,
This is your first time watching.
This was my very first time, and I was like...
This is my second time.
So I can't speak for a second time watch, but for a first time watch, I was like, damn, this was a good fucking movie, dude. Like...
It's decent.
I feel like this always happens where I'm like, I really like this movie. Kevin's like, that's okay.
I feel like that happens vice versa too when I really love a movie. And you're like, well, it was like The Hunt. You were like, you agreed that it was a great movie and everything, but you're like, the subject matter really disturbs you. Or
yeah, I was like, man, this movie fucked me up, and I kind of really don't want to watch it again. It made me feel a certain type of way, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. I was like, I don't want to feel like that again.
That's good though, because then you guys can get like perspective critiques.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this is the craziest thing about this movie.
Yeah.
Is it's literally based on a true story, and it's not like
Based
like
on
they
true
took like some like cookie cutter kind of shit, and then it's 90% fake. No, this really is about a black detective, like the first black detective at Colorado Springs Police Department in 1970, who fucking found an ad in the paper for the KKK and called the fucking...
Have you seen the movie?
Well, I've seen it once.
Oh, he said
It's a crazy movie, dude.
And
most of the shit in there is true. Like, he literally did infiltrate the KKK as a black man, sent a narcotics undercover officer to pretend to be him, and fucking infiltrated it and proved that the KKK had infiltrated, like, many infrastructures into the fucking government. Some of them high-ranking military positions, and they had removed fucking... explosives, specifically C4, illegally. Like, all that shit was true.
You got C4?
Like, and it's like, this shit is crazy.
BlacKkKlansman 2018 crime drama director Spike Lee. We got a whopping 96% on the Rotten Tomato meter, 83 with the audience.
I think that's pretty fair, man. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's a well done movie. And I enjoy movies like this where there's like the suspense. It's kind of a
Topher Grace.
Dude, that was the thing that threw me off the most. I was like, Eric Foreman is the king of the Ku Klux Klan? Like,
Yeah.
that is the part where the movie
Venom.
That was the biggest question mark for me in this movie, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he sells it very well. Like, he has this weird oddity, like goofiness to him.
He was great as Eric Foreman, but then he goes to Venom, and then he goes to fucking the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
Yeah, I just didn't buy him as the Grand Wizard of the KKK. I mean, it's not that his performance is bad. It's just that everything else he's done before this movie, I'm just like, I don't know. I just really don't buy this guy.
Yeah, he's like all over the place with his roles he chooses. I got a tagline right here. It's a pretty good tagline. It's quick and simple. Infiltrate hate. Right? Pretty good. And there's another one that says, based on a crazy, outrageous, incredible true story. Which is, whatever.
Well, it's factual, yeah.
Yeah.
I find it
This movie was nominated for 6 awards, including Best Directing, Best Picture, and Best Supporting Actor, and it won an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Dude, I'm gonna say I gotta look up their names for this movie. Because I don't know the actors' names.
How about Alec Baldwin at the beginning?
So that is
Dude, I bought that. I can see Alec Baldwin being a racist
piece of shit. Well, and he sells it so well too, because
seems like that guy.
that is literally based on an actual speech that a public speaker in Arkansas had after Martin Luther King had marched there. Where it's like, we don't want these blacks going to school with our white kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like that. It's very the time of this movie. They sell this time period so well, where it's like the black people really coming into their own, but even though this is after the civil rights marches and after all these new amendments have been passed, so like black people have the same freedom as white people, they still really don't, though. There's a lot of Jim Crow kind of shit going around. There's a lot of racist cops. There's a lot of that same bullshit that this community has dealt with for such a long time, but they're in this weird period of where, like, yes, they are free, but they're not. But they're in this intellectual movement where they're really coming into their identity, and it's like at the very like beginning and height of like Soul, you know, and all these cool black exploitation films that were coming out, and, like Shaft. I think, and I really think, if even if you don't like the movie, it really represents that time period so fucking well. Like it really does.
I agree with that.
It really, and oh man, the fucking guys that play the Ku Klux Klan guys, like I was like, oh yeah, I believe these motherfuckers are, you know, putting on hoods and setting shit on fire.
Oh
like,
yeah, they did. They looked the part.
Yeah.
And they fucking played it well.
What's funny is one of the guys, the kind of chubby dude.
Yeah, the fat guy who's just stupid as fuck.
He always plays the stupid fat guy. He's the stupid fat guy in so they're you know, you've seen the Karate Kid, right?
I thought that was my role.
You've seen the Karate Kid, right?
Ugly stinky Kevin, fat ugly retard.
His name is Paul Walter Hauser, but he plays like the fat dumb guy in the Cobra Kai series on Netflix.
Oh yeah, never watched it.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, fucking Adam Driver is so good in this movie.
He's pretty good, yeah.
But really though, the guy that steals all the scenes is the main guy, John David Washington.
Yeah, I don't know him.
I've never I don't know. Let's look him up, man. But I really liked him in this movie. He was really good. I loved how like he was all like they're just like, you can't talk to the Klan. They're gonna know you're black. He's like, because black people talk a certain way. He's like, no, explain to me, sir.
Yeah.
How do black people talk? Like,
I can talk jive and I can talk regular.
And I can talk proper, yeah.
Proper, yeah.
Proper white Kingsman English, yeah. He this guy was fucking great though.
You got fucking Steve Buscemi's brother in there. He looks exactly like Steve Buscemi, bro.
He really does. I for a second I thought it was Steve Buscemi. I was like, oh wait, I think that's like his brother.
Yeah, it's Michael Buscemi, who also I don't know from anything else. Here's one thing I wrote down in my notes. I didn't know toad was a slur for black people.
I didn't either. That was the first time I had heard that one.
Right. Whenever he's trying to like the racist cop, he's trying to get files from the black dude. He's like, I need the files for this toad. He's like, I don't got no toads here. I got human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other,
I never knew that.
The other big movie John David Washington was in was Christopher Nolan's Tenet. So he's the main character in Tenet.
Hated it. Did you see
I
it?
never watched it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't bother with it. It just seemed too out there. It seemed like a worse version of his movie Memento, and so I just didn't bother watching it.
Yeah, I didn't care for that movie at all. It's confusing and it's fucking, it's too action movie for me. Actually.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a big fan of. So there is a flaw in this movie. I don't know if you realize it.
Lay it on me, yeah.
So he calls up the ad for the KKK, right? And he sets up the fucking meeting or whatever. And Adam Driver goes and meets with the KKK, pretending to be the black dude. But after that, why is he still calling? Why wouldn't they just use Adam Driver to call to on the phone now? They're still using. I mean, he's still the one talking to him over the phone, even though Adam Driver's right there.
Yeah. So I think the movie does a bad because this is actually 100% what happened in real life, where he used a narcotics officer.
It's just
in real life, but then he was the one talking over the phone. It's because he had so much charisma, and he sold this to them so well. That's how they were able to infiltrate so deeply into the Klan.
Yeah, but it just doesn't make sense to use him anymore after they have already met fucking Adam Driver. Why wouldn't Adam Driver be calling him at that point? Because then you're just mixing, people's vote. You can misconstrue people's voices.
But it's literally what happened in real life, though, and that's why they kept it that way, because that so when he calls the Grand Wizard to get his registration card, that happened in real life, and he literally continued to have conversations with that guy the whole time that under the investigation. So it's one of those stranger than fiction moments where it's like, yeah, that is kind of a fucking weird thing. Like, why wouldn't Adam Driver just be the point of contact?
Yeah.
But that's literally
how it went down.
How it went down in real life. And so that's why he kept being the one to call, because he was just had so much charisma. He was so convincing. Like, I am part of this cause. And that's kind of, I think, what makes the whole situation so humorous. Like, there's all these racist people that,
people.
we fucking hate black people.
Where do they all
I'm not going to say
from?
the heinous shit that they say in this movie about African Americans, because
there's a lot of big words.
I don't believe in any of that shit. But it's so humorous to me that he is fooling these people over the phone that, think they're their basically he's their brother in arms.
Right.
And they can't even tell the difference over the phone between Adam Driver and the main character, and that's so funny to me.
That's another thing about this movie too, is that it is pretty funny. It's a funny movie, actually,
and it's supposed to be, because it's kind of showing that side of racism where it's just like, this is just really fucking stupid. Like, why do people think this way? It's a really ignorant and also silly way to view the world.
Right.
Like,
there's that point where Adam Driver meets with the KKK or whatever, and that guy is suspicious, that one guy, and he was like, let me see your dick or whatever, because he suspected him of being Jewish and shit. He's like, I hear they do funny things with their dicks. And he goes, well, he asked to show him his dick. He's like, is your dick circumstanced?
Circumstanced, yeah. Yeah. I love that. He's like, why do you want to see my dick? Are you some kind of faggot?
Yeah, dude.
He's like, you're the faggot. Show me your dick.
Yeah. And that's when Homeboy throws the fucking rock through the window. Yeah, I like that about the movie. It does have some funny parts. There is some laugh breaks.
Yeah, it's that thing where you're making light of a really dark situation. Like, you're finding the humor in it, because it really is. It's just so stupid. It's so fucking stupid that these people think this way.
Are you a fan of the director, Spike Lee?
There have been a few movies he's made that I really like.
Trying to think of his other movies. I can't really.
One of the ones I really liked that he did was Inside Man with Clive Owen and Denzel. I think that's a really good movie. I also like his movie 25 Hours with Edward Norton. He's like a big time drug dealer that's going to prison for basically ever, and it's all about his last day before prison. That was a pretty good movie too. I'm just gonna say this about Spike Lee, is he always leans into racist material, and I feel like a lot of the time he overplays his hand. And that it was actually what I was gonna say about this movie. I would have liked it even more if he, you know, how he ends the movie with all the horrible shit that happened in 2017, like all when Donald Trump got elected president, and all this, like, really racist people did some really awful shit. Like the real
at the
life.
end of the movie, they show all the clips of like the rioting.
And I think it would have been better to do that at the beginning to set a precedent. Like, you know, people have fought hard for a really long time.
Yeah.
But this kind of shit's still going on in the world. But I think it would have been a better ending to where, you know, at the end where he finally lets the Grand Wizard know, like, hey, you know that black cop that you talked all that shit about? He's like, oh, by the way, the person you love, Ron Stallworth, that's me, the black detective. Like, that would have been the perfect way to end that movie, because it's completely turning racism on its head. He's like, I'm this guy that you love that you didn't realize was black this whole time. And like that's such a humorous thing, you know what I mean? And that would have been a perfect way to end the movie, instead of the really fucking weird way he ends it, where it's like a clan around this, like, that shit. None of that shit made any sense to me, because before that the movie was so strong. And that's the biggest thing I don't like about this director. Like, I mean, I understand he's black and he grew up in New York in a very, like, dark time in American history, so I understand why he has the opinions he does. But just, like, as somebody who's also an artist, I just think it would have been a better product to end in a better place than what he does. I just don't like how he just overthrows the shit in your face. It would have been such a much stronger movie to end on a win, you know what I mean?
Sure. This might sound weird, but I kind of feel for the wife, you know, the wife of the white guy, the fatter lady. It's because she's only in this world because of the husband, you know what I mean? It feels like she's trying to live up to his expectations of a wife, and that's why she's so racist. I mean, if it weren't for him, I feel like she wouldn't have been a racist person.
I don't agree with that. I think she was, like, would have been racist.
I think it was all influence from the husband, man.
I think she was racist. I just think that it was amplified by the husband. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
Well, I think her entire interaction, where everything about her. See, I feel bad that obviously her husband is sending her to her death. Like, that's that whole thing. He's sending her to a fucking death march. He doesn't care where she lives or dies. Like, he very much is. He's very much using her in that regard. I feel bad for her, because I don't think anybody should be treated that way.
Right.
But for what happens to her, I do not feel bad for her, because she, for one, literally tried to blow up people she doesn't even fucking know. Yeah. Never even had a she just decided to hate them for the color of their skin. She made that decision. Nobody fucking forced her to put that bomb there.
I think the husband kind of did. Influenced her,
but he didn't make her do it, because she's always like, what can I do to help? Like, and it's also, I think it's very telling, that scene in the bedroom when they're talking about killing, and I'm gonna say this word. I fucking hate this word. I'm gonna say it, but it's just because they repeat it in this scene so many times. They talk about killing.
He's quoting.
I'm quoting the movie, but they're like, "Oh, I can't wait. I always thought it was a dream, but we're gonna finally get to kill niggers." And they both fucking say it, and they say it over and over again. Like, the wife says it like 3 times. I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no, I very much think she's racist. I just think being around her husband exacerbates that to the extreme degree.
I mean, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
But and that's the other reason I don't feel sorry for her, because when she is caught when she's
sorry for her, but just.
Well, I was gonna say, when she is caught red-handed, and it's a black police officer, she is like, it's just a black guy trying to rape me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if that was a white cop, you wouldn't have been able to pull that shit. Like, you're only doing that because he's a black guy, and they don't know he's a cop. Like,
Right.
and it's just like, that's I just don't have sympathy for those kind of people, man. Like, I was like, if that's your mentality, I really don't give a fuck what happens to you unless you fucking realize how stupid you are, or like, yeah, you know what, I got engulfed into this fucked up mentality, and then you spend your time making amends for that and be like, I don't want to be this person. I want to be like an actual good person and try and heal all the fucked up damage. Then I was like, okay, now I've got sympathy for you because you're trying to do the right thing. But yeah, I just don't see that. Just like that whole white America bullshit. Like, I fucking hate that shit, dude. I was like, it's never been white America, man. Like, there are so many non-white people that were fucking that have been here forever. Like, it's always been a melting pot, and I think everybody that lives here needs to fucking realize that. And that's kind of like what I like about this movie. Like, when Adam Driver and the main character have common ground, where it's just like, man, you should hate this shit as much as I do, because like it's like yeah, you're Jewish. He's like, you know, they might want to kill black people the most, but he's like, but Jews are the fucking second people on their list, like right behind me.
Yeah, totally. I got a few more notes. You got Nicholas Turturro in there, John Turturro's brother. You know who that was? That was old boy. He was the one who, like, he kind of towards the end, he kind of pointed out Adam Driver. He's like, that motherfucker's.
I was going to bring him up because I had never seen him in really a lot of serious movies. I just always kind of see him in fucking Adam Sandler movies as like some really goofy, crazy guy.
Right. I never realized that was John Turturro's brother until recently. But that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's about it. This movie's kind of middle of the road for me, man. If I'm going with the rating, if we're at that part, it's I think the first watch, I'd probably given it a little bit of a better rating, but I'm middle of the road, 5.5 maybe.
See, for my first watch, and I would have given it a higher rating if it had not been for, you know what I mean, like the ending. Like, I just didn't really like that. I didn't feel like it was necessary for the movie, because I feel like this movie's such an amazing story. Like, what this guy managed to do is incredible. You know what I mean? Managed to literally fool people that hate black people and infiltrate.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's an incredible story. So I think for a first watch, I would give it like probably a 7, man. Like, I really would. I really like this movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I don't know how I would feel about it upon a second watch, because I've only seen it the one time. But I was quite captivated by it.
Yeah, I get that. Disclaimer, the SD card on our camera is full, so the rest of this episode will not be on camera. Sorry.
It's okay. We're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. Yeah, I'm done. I hit all my notes.
Hell yeah.
Rewatchability, maybe.
I think so. I would definitely rewatch it again, but it's not like the subject matter. It's that subject matter that's really heavy. So I don't think it's something you could. It's not one of those ones where like you could keep coming back to it over and over.
Right.
But I think with enough time, I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah.
I fucking enjoyed this movie. I thought it was, aside from.
What'd you give it? What was your rate? I'm sorry.
I gave it a 7.
Okay, yeah. That's what you gave Tombstone too, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
7.5. Yeah.
Cool. There you have, folks. One thing left to do.
Pick that next movie.
I know. You texted me earlier. You were like, yesterday. You were like, it gives me more time to think about what my next movie pick will be, because I fucked up and slept through
that's okay.
our podcast.
That's okay, man. It's not a big deal.
You know what movie I'm choosing?
What are you picking, man?
The Passion of the Christ.
Oh, shit.
Just kidding.
I was like, oh, shit, okay. I was like, are we for real right now? Fuck. All right. I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't want to. It's painful.
No, that's a joke. That's not what I'm picking. I always wanted to throw that out there, though, just to be funny.
Just for the shits, just for the gigs.
Passion of the Christ. Or how about, what's another funny one to throw out? Have you ever seen It's Pat, the movie?
No.
It's retarded. Anyways,
Fuck.
so you got your movie or no?
I think so. I'm going to let you pick first, and then I'm going to decide.
All right. Check it out. I got a movie that I haven't seen yet, and I'm guessing you haven't seen
Probably
yet.
not, yeah.
It's an old movie. It's old, and it's a Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, shit, okay.
I'm talking Dr. Strangelove. Have you
That
seen
movie's
it?
No, it's on my list. I've always wanted to watch it.
Let's do it, brother.
Okay.
I'm excited for it, actually, man.
I've heard. I think you've probably seen this
a lot
movie,
about it.
but I saw it. I think I saw it, and it's streaming on Netflix. And I was like, man, I really want to watch this movie again. This is gonna be a weird pairing, but I'm gonna pick the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh yeah, you were Wes Anderson. We talked about Wes Anderson a few weeks back, and you were like, you haven't seen Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yo, I'm picking that one.
All right, that's an interesting choice.
It's gonna be a couple of weird movies.
I've tried a couple of Wes Anderson movies, dude, and it's
they don't hit for you.
It hasn't been my cup of jizz,
but my cup of jizz.
But I think last time we talked about it, I said I watched Grand Budapest Hotel.
And you hated that movie, and I love that movie.
But I think I was wrong. I think I didn't watch that. I watched The French Dispatch. I think I got those two mixed.
Oh, got you.
Have you seen?
I've never seen The French Dispatch. No.
Yeah.
I've been told to watch it, but
so I don't think I've seen Grand Budapest Hotel.
Well,
just so you know,
I'm eventually gonna make. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna make you watch that movie because I think that's one of his best movies. It's fucking funny. It's got Ralph Fiennes in it, and Ralph Fiennes is hilarious in that movie.
Yeah.
It's one of his best performances.
Oh, we talked about that on the last podcast too. Is it Ray or Ralph? Everybody says Ray Fiennes.
I don't. I think it's one of those things where that's just it's a mistake. Because until you corrected me,
it's a Mandela effect. No, people notable people say Ray Fiennes and shit. Like I've heard.
Maybe it's like a nickname for him. Then
yeah, I don't know what it is.
He likes to be called Ray. Maybe I don't know.
But this is interesting. This will be our first time doing a Wes Anderson movie, and we've done a Kubrick before. We did a Full Metal Jacket. There you have it, though. Dr. Strangelove, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Next time on Kevin and Drew Talk Movies. This is
on the little screen.
This is a bit of a long one, but thanks for hanging in there with us. We love you.
Yes, you did.
We fucking love you.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Or as they say in Canada,
it's been a long day. We'll see you on the flip side. Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, don't you know?
Fuck yeah.